Like, I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear. In the back of my mind,
Prosecutors say David dismembered 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez with a chainsaw after stabbing her to death in his garage to silence her. Hello guys, I'm bringing you this video live from the deep heart of Africa. As you can see, I love the nature here, and I do come here sometimes to cool off whenever pressure are high. So that aside, let's talk about what we have today, which is yes, David, a rising star, a great musician, but I think his career has been cut short based on the circumstances surrounding his career right now, which is the death of his alleged girlfriend, Celeste Hernandez. All right. So, what actually happened? Now, the fact is that Celeste Hernandez is actually 14-year-old, and prosecutors are alleging that David dismembered her with a chainsaw and covered it up because he didn't want the death or the murder of Celeste to be tied down to him. Okay, so moving on in this case, I have a lot of different points which I'm gonna be reading out, and which each one I read out, I'm gonna explain. All right, and obviously this has been going on, and this case has been going on for quite a while. And for those that don't know, David is actually 21-year-old, while his alleged girlfriend was said to be 14 as at the time the incident happened. All right, so the time of the crime, this crime happened around April 23rd, 2025. That was somewhere around last year. And now the prosecutors claim David sent a ride to pick her up from her hometown of Lake Elsinore and bring her to his home. And after that, prosecutors alleged that maybe they had a problem. And in the midst of the problem, Celeste threatened that she was gonna put out their relationship out to the public. And yes, if she had done that, it would have ruined his career because number one, she's underaged. Meanwhile, he was 21 and she was just 14. So prosecutors are alleging that maybe out of panic and out of fear of his career being brought down by this little girl, he decided to murder her in order to silence her. Alright, prosecutors claim that he stabbed her multiple times and watched her bled out as he stood there. Okay, now moving on, this is where the case gets a little tricky. Now, as prosecutors alleged, all right, he tried to cover up the whole thing, but being who he is, he used a decoy. He used a decoy name. He used the name Victoria Mendez to buy these items. All right, look, he bought a shovel. He ordered an inflatable pool. He bought 2 chainsaws and body bags using the name Victoria Mendez. And according to prosecutors, he used the chainsaw to cut her body into parts, and he used the body bags to make dispose of the bodies. Now, like I said, this case is something that should be taken very seriously, because for the fact that something like this has happened to such a young girl and the lawyers are looking as if they are winning, but I don't think they're going to win this one, okay? Because as of recently, well, I'm going to keep that for the last, so I'm going to keep that for the last part of this video, so do well to be with me till the end of this video. Actually, I'm loving it out here in the deep heart of Africa. The cool breeze and the view is great actually. And yeah, to those of you thinking whether I'm safe, I'm actually safe here. Actually, we have people living around. We have animals, chickens, dogs. Man, I'm loving it here actually, and I'm gonna miss it. But I try to be coming here once in a while to do some videos, okay? Because I think I find it cool here to talk about Hollywood. All right. So moving on in the case, like I said, David tried to cover up this murder by buying some equipments which he used, maybe the shovel, maybe he intended to dig a hole with the shovel, but I don't think he digged any hole, because after he had cut her body into parts and had put them into a body bag, prosecutors alleged that he dumped her at a lot. Now, when he dumped her at a lot, according to the workers there, they said they started after some days, they started perceiving a very bad, foul smell coming out from a Tesla ride. So meaning that when David had dismembered her body, he put her in the body bag and left the body parts inside a car. Now, what happened next? What happened next actually? When the workers actually saw this body, they now raised an alarm. Now, this was happening at least 4 months. Now, look, Celeste's remains were found in September 2025. Meanwhile, she was murdered. Prosecutors allege that she was murdered somewhere around April 2025. So you see, it's almost 5 months that this happened, that her body was now found. All right. Now, after, they discovered in 2 bags inside the front of a Tesla. And according to findings, this Tesla belonged to David. Now, you see why I said this case is a kind of little tricky. Now, if all this evidence is pointing at David, why is he not the culprit? To me, he's the damn culprit. There's nothing else to say. David is the culprit here. All right. So, sorry about that. So, moving on in this case, sorry about that. I had a little distraction here. Sorry about that. So, moving on in this case, like I said, all the evidence is pointing towards that David is the culprit. So, he should be apprehended and sentenced. All right. But this is where everything gets much more interesting. Like I said, this case is a bit long, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it short and understandable. Now, when these body parts were found in David Tesla, that was when investigation started. All right, investigation started, and the prosecutors started looking at loopholes, trying to connect the dots. Why his car? And a lot of legal things that should be done in a due process to be able to apprehend the criminal. All right. Now, the legal status. David was arrested on April 16, 2026. That is this year. All right. Nearly a year after the alleged murder. He was now arrested for the fact that he tried to get away with this. You see, nearly a year. That was when he was caught up. Now, he has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Which includes, number 1, first-degree murder. Number 2, continuous sexual abuse of a minor. Number 3, mutilation of human remains. So, as you can see, yes, he has pleaded not guilty to these charges. But he faces a maximum sentence of life without parole or the death penalty. And mind you, his lawyers have released a statement stating that he is innocent and claiming that the actual evidence in his case will show David did not murder Celeste Rivas. Now, to me, what are they waiting for? Let them just pick up this guy and do with him what the law is supposed to do with people like this. All right, for you to be able to kill somebody, butcher this person into parts, and dump the body without anybody knowing. Come on, somebody like this is not supposed to walk freely in the society. Someone like this is never supposed to walk freely in the society. Now, that brings me to the end of this video, but I would love to know, what do you think? Do you think David actually murdered this girl? Or do you think his life sentence was actually the right move? Or should he have been given a death penalty? What do you think? I'd love to know in the comment section down below. Please do well to tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video. Alright? And don't forget to turn on notifications so that you'll be aware whenever I drop amazing videos as this. Stay blessed, and Africa is saying hi to all the Hollywood lovers out there. Peace.